What's up everyone? I would first like to start this week's updates by letting you know that I am now a contributor for the Retro RGB website. So I will be posting my MiSTer FPGA video updates in blog form on Retro RGB. There's a lot of contributors posting great content on the website that can help you get the most out of your retro consoles and equipment. I'm excited to be on board and I thank Bob for welcoming me. Be sure to check out and bookmark RetroRGB.com, the Retro RGB YouTube channel, or support Retro RGB on Patreon for some awesome retro gaming content. And now onto the news. A new computer core has been released. This one's for the Japanese PC8801 computer by NEC. While US and European gamers had computers like the Commodore 64, the PC8801 was one of Japan's most popular computers, grabbing 40% of the market over there. It had a lot of game developer support, and many of those developers still exist today. Gaming companies that supported the company were Sega, Enix, Square, Konami, and many more. Nintendo even licensed some of their NES games to be ported to the platform. You'll have to know Japanese to get the most out of this core, but some games do have fan translations. MiSTer Core developer Jotego has released two of his cores to the public. These cores are Konami Super Basketball and Yi Are Kung Fu. I never knew how to pronounce that game. These games are based on similar hardware, and Jotego expects we will soon see more games using that hardware. You can download these cores from Jotego's JTBin GitHub or by using the Update All script. When Jotego first creates a core, he first makes it exclusive to his Patreon subscribers. After he feels that the core is at a state that is good enough for public distribution, he then releases them to the public. So, if you have any interest in trying out his cores that are currently Patreon exclusive, consider joining. Another piece of hardware Jotego is working on is the Neo Geo Pocket. A core is a long way off because right now he's only working on the CPU and has it at about 58% complete. For Toaplyn's Twin Cobra, while there is no code for a core, his team has the game's sprite circuitry transcribed from the board schematics. He says that they have it about 75% done. I'm unclear if he means 75% of the sprite circuitry or 75% of the entire schematics. A reason for transcribing schematics helps with documenting the hardware, which in turn helps with FPGA core development. Jotego has also ordered a manual for the Sly Spy arcade game. Other games made by the same company had their schematics in the manual, and if that's the case with Sly Spy, then Jotego predicts we will see it in FPGA form really quickly. And for the final Jotego update, in the CPS1 core, he fixed a bug that made King of Dragons run at 10 MHz instead of 12. Sound is now finally working on the PlayStation core. It's not working for all games, but it's a good start for the core. 30% of the PlayStation's SPU, or sound processing unit, has been implemented. So as the SPU implementation keeps getting improved, expect more game sound to start working. I also want to address some questions I've been getting about the PlayStation core. One question is if a second RAM stick will be required for sound. I will let you know the developer's plans, but remember things can change. We can't predict any issues that may arrive in the future that can affect his plans. So Robert, the developer of the core, replied to a Reddit post detailing what his plans are for sound. So to quickly answer the question whether you'll need a second RAM stick or not, the answer is no. Sound will work without a second RAM stick. Now, the question is if there will be any issues with using only one RAM stick. And technically, yes, there will be issues, especially when a game is using all the 24 channels of the PlayStation's sound processing unit. In that case, sound will be delayed less than 0.1 milliseconds, which no one will notice. Also, the timing of some sound interrupts cannot be 100% accurate with only one RAM stick, but Robert does mention that PlayStation emulators like DuckStation face the same issue and games still work fine. So it may very well be that we won't notice any sound issues while playing PlayStation games using only one RAM stick. When sound is implemented, he wants to either auto-detect a second stick or have the user specify it. Another question I get and I want to address is why not increase the amount of RAM on a single stick instead of using two? The reason for needing two sticks for accurate sound emulation does not have to do with the amount of RAM. It has to do with the amount of bandwidth. There is a limit on how fast you can send data over the GPIO pins that the RAM chip uses. No matter how much you increase the RAM, you are still bound by that speed limit. In order to get around that speed limit, you can use the second set of GPIO pins on the DE10 Nano to send more data at the same time instead of sending data faster. Unfortunately, if you have an analog I/O board, you are already using the extra GPIO pins, making you decide between accurate sound or analog output. While you can have analog output over the HDMI port using direct video, a feature I use a lot is outputting HDMI and analog output at the same time, which won't be possible when using a second RAM stick. This is a simplification, but I hope this helps you better understand the reason for using two RAM sticks for the PlayStation Core. One of the goals for MiSTer cores is to be as accurate as possible, and using two RAM sticks better achieves that goal. The RMC YouTube channel recently posted a video about how he set up a MiSTer FPGA to load games by using the original game boxes. The way he accomplished this was by setting up a barcode scanning system that will scan the barcode on the game's box and then send a command to the MiSTer to run the game that correlates to that box. On the video, he goes over the entire setup and shows you exactly how to set up your own system. I remember a while back that I saw something similar that is also being worked on by Twitter user McGyver, except he is using NFC tags on cartridges. This is a really cool feature that allows us to use our game collections in a modern way. It makes a lot of sense for RMC. He has a retro museum where you can play old school consoles and computers. This gives visitors the chance to look at the box, check out the game's description and screenshots, and make a decision if it's a game that they want to play, instead of browsing through a list of games with no context on what the game is about. And finally, other smaller updates involve fixes to the video filters on the main MiSTer software and fixes to the Amiga core. Just run the update script to implement these. And about those video filters, I would like to highlight a YouTube channel that does a great job of going over these filters and also the MiSTer Shadow Mask. The channel is called Trash Uncle, and he really goes into detail on the new way MiSTer handles video filters. If you're interested in getting a better CRT look on a modern display, then check out his videos. So that's it for this episode. I provided links to all my sources in the description. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. And if you want to see more content like this, hit the subscribe button and its bell icon so you can get notified of future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you next time.